Okay, so you're talking about back when you were a kid with your grandpa,
Albert Gore.
Albert Gore.
I
That's the
was
father of Al Gore, vice president.
father of Al Gore.
All right, so
I
your
was
grandpa was driving by the house.
grandpa. I was with grandpa. I was probably 6 or 7 years old. We were going home down a gravel road and we come up on Albert Gore's home. My grandpa saw him over there and he said, "Oh, he's home. He was a state senator from Tennessee."
Okay.
That's what he was. And Grandpa said, "I wanted to talk to him." He went over there and talked to him, and Albert was home on the weekend, and he says, "Will, that's my grandpa's name. I need some good hay for my stock, horses, mules, whatever he had there." He said, "You got some good hay?" He said, "I got some good hay." And he says, "Well, I'll bring you a load. What's in that?" He said, "Well, it's alfalfa, lespedezi, and whatever else Grandpa told him. We had it in it. That's what we could. It would make hay
So
for
so
what?
Albert Gore wanted the hay, right?
Albert Gore.
Wanted the
Not
hay.
Al, but Albert.
Yeah, I understand.
That's Al Gore's
I'm just trying to
dad.
make sure it wasn't your grandpa that wanted the hay. It was
No,
Albert.
he asked my grandfather for
Yeah,
the hay. He said, "You
yeah.
got some good hay. I need a load of hay."
Right, right.
Grandpa said, "I got a good load of hay for you." He said, "Bring me a load." And we went home, went back to the house. We loaded that wagon up with pitchforks, put that on that hay, and I rode up on top of that. It's like a mountain up on top of that hay. And before we left the house, Grandpa went out in the barn there, and he reached back in there, and we made moonshine all the time in Tennessee. My
Did
dad
you?
made it. My grandpa made it.
You all made you all of
We
y'all
all
made
made it.
y'all
It was
made it.
illegal, but we made it.
Yeah. Okay.
And my dad got caught once, but that's another story.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that in
But
a
anyway,
different
my
video.
grandpa, he went back there in the barn and he had his stash back there in the barn. He put his finger in that rug of a gallon jug. It had a ring on the side. He brought that out and he shoved it back in that hay where it wouldn't turn over and spill. We brought that hay over to Albert Gore, went around in his barn back there and unloaded the hay. He said, "Man, that is good looking hay." And he throwed some over to his stock and boy, they just started chomping on it. And he says, "I'm having a cookout. Come on back here to the picnic table and have a hamburger, whatever he's cooking." I don't remember now. I was just a little fella. And we went in his backyard, and Grandpa come over and said, "Hey, Albert, I brought you something special here." He pulled that jug out and set it up there on his table, and Albert Gore looked at him. He said, "What is that?" Grandpa said, "Well, that's that good old shine." And Albert pointed a finger at him. He said, "You know, Will, that's illegal." He says, "I know." "Yeah, I know." Albert says, "I don't care. I'm going to drink it anyway." He did. He'd think my grandpa said, "Oh, man." He loved that. He'd put that up there and look. He loved that good old moonshine. It was good old sweet tasting. And we'd made some good moonshine.
And that was a brick house?
It was a brick house, and I always
Right on the
thought
highway
if
south
I go
of
by
south of
there
Hillman?
today, I'd say that house don't look that big today. Like I always thought he had a big place. Al Gore was running around. There's a little fella like me. I don't know how old Al Gore's. How old would you say he is now?
Well, I don't think he would have been born in the 30s.
I don't think
No.
he's as old as me.
No. Al Gore would not have been born in the 30s. He wouldn't have been born
No,
at those years when you were
I
six.
can't remember if he had children
Al,
running around that
Al,
house.
Al
But I
Gore would
can't.
have been born in the late 40s.
Yeah, I don't think he was Al Gore's. I mean his son. I don't think he was born then. I don't know that. I mean,
Yeah, no,
I
I'm sure.
don't know how old Albert Gore was back then.
Yeah,
I just know that he knew my grandpa knew him, and Grandpa he was a Democrat. Al Gore's a Democrat.
yeah.
He got beat out with little Bush down there in Florida, and they took the presidency away from him.
Yeah, they sure did. That was a
They
mess.
did. They
That was
beat him
another.
out of it. See?
That was Al Gore won that popular
Yeah,
vote, and he won.
yeah.
He should have won the whole presidency.
He did.
This
He won
world
the
would be a
popular
different
votes.
place.
He won everything, but they took it away from him.
This world would be a different place if we
It
had Al
would.
Gore.
And I'll tell you,
Be a better place
you
right
remember
now.
3 names I'm going to give you: Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld.
Yeah, that's
What
where.
would you call those guys? I would call them murderers.
Oh,
Look at all the Americans got murdered when their reign come along. Now I'll go with his dad. His dad, George W.H. Bush.
well, I got one better for you.
He was a good president.
I got one better for you. Those men took down those towers. Whether some hijackers were already scheduled to take them down, and they helped the towers fall, or whether they let it happen. But all those men knew that that was going to happen.
Well, they took down our towers, but they didn't come from Iraq. They come from Afghanistan.
Well, Saudi Arabia supposedly, but those
Well,
those buildings were demolished.
Saddam bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, he was in Iraq. He had nothing to do with it.
No, he didn't have anything to do with it.
Saddam bin Laden did.
But what I'm getting at is,
who went after Saddam bin Laden and got him killed?
There's no Saddam bin Laden. There's a Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
Saddam bin Laden.
But now we're getting off the track.
Now. I'm changing the story.
I know.
You're not listening to me.
I know. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's finish up on this brick house. So that brick house.
I don't know if it's still there. I'm down there. I don't know. I haven't been down by there in years.
I know.
I know is his name was Albert Gore.
And it was near Hillman, right?
It was close to Hillman in Overton County down there. Overton County, Tennessee. He was a state senator.
Yeah.
Now, he could have been Al Gore's great-grandpa. I don't know that. They passed the names down. He could have been his great-grandfather. Whether it was Albert Gore was Al's father, I don't know how old Albert Gore is.
Yeah, he's born in late 40s.
I know there was some kids running around there, but I'm young, 5 or 6 years old.
Right, and you're 95 right now.
I got to remember when I was 2 years old. I remember things that happened when I was 2 years old.
Yeah, I can remember pretty young, too. I can remember some things, too. All right, well, we'll shut this one down.